I work for DBAG, which stands for Deutsche Beteiligungs AG. We were spun out of Deutsche Bank a long time ago, and we are now the leading private equity investor in Germany. We have the biggest country-specific fund with 1.1 billion, and we're investing with a total AUM of 2.6 billion. It's a very important role. We were one of the first investors into big rural glass fiber investments. So we own, for example, our portfolio companies Inexio and DNSnet, who are the leading actors in Germany in bringing fiber to the home in rural sites, which is a very big topic in Germany. But also we have the leading provider for telecommunication services in prisons to inmates, which helps a lot for people to re-socialize and also keep in touch with their relatives when they are away from home. The other investment we have is DBAG in Switzerland, which is the leading player in the communication for trains. Probably the biggest challenge right now is that the market has become so hot, is valuation, definitely. And valuation is twofold. In the TMT sector you have even more aggressive higher growth, therefore higher business plan, the hockey stick is steeper, so you can be wrong. The line of error on the business plan is much higher than compared to any other industry. And then you also pay higher multiples, so if things turn out not as you wanted them to turn out, you can be wrong on two sides, which will then result in very ugly results. Well, the biggest opportunity is especially for private equity, and it's also a segment where private equity was able to show consistent alpha, is that in Europe, it's not a country Europe. So you have leading players in Germany, you have leading players in Italy, you have leading players in Spain or France, and it's very difficult to take that one company global. It's much more easy to take a company in Ohio, Cincinnati, and take that, spread that all across the USA, which will be roughly the same market and then in Europe. And so it's difficult for venture capital companies evolving to become a leading player, but they can become national champions. And private equity can help to consolidate that sector across Europe and to really bring onto market European champions. We see that a lot in the payment sector, for example, where Advent, Warburg Pincus are doing this kind of, taking up that challenge. BTV Brown makes special connectors for the cable industry. So we think that we're gonna profit a lot from the upgrading of the cable network, which needs to compete with the fiber networks in terms of speed. So DOCSIS 3, DOCSIS even afterwards. So we see a lot of growth there, and also given that Vodafone, for example, has bought the leading cable network in Germany, we are very confident that also the CapEx will follow the initial investment. Well, I think the main criteria is you always have to ask yourself, are you the right partner for the management team, and how can you add value? I mean, if you want to buy a business or sell a business today, you can probably have 20 interested financial investors. So if you are on the other side as a manager, you have to ask yourself, why should I go for DBAG instead of XYZ? And that's also the question we are asking ourselves. Why would we be good owners and good investor for the company to develop? And it's a challenge on both sides. And we take a management presentation also as a marketing opportunity where we sell us and not only listen what the company is doing. Either it's the industry network you have with seasoned entrepreneurs you can put in, help the existing CEOs to run their company better, the insights you gain through former portfolio companies, or most often it's your current portfolio. So you might have synergies with other portfolio companies where you can add value. For example, in the rural glass fiber, we did a lot of add-on acquisitions. We know the sector very well, and a lot of people deem us as being the specialist investor now for that sector. And I think we get the first call then also when somebody tries to sell this company. That's really the sweet spot where you want to go.